Chapter 1269 Vajra and Demon. Chapter 1269 Vajra and Demon. Proofreader, Papatonks. Yenner. Mountain Lord, his eyes shook as he regarded the familiar clothes and grew outraged. Enchanting Empress, are you mad? What's with this creepy look? The Enchanting Empress gave him a coy look. Why, Brother Dong, didn't you like me because of my looks? Now, you were a charming lady before, but now just an old biddy, warped into a monster. What a joke! He Howdong, you don't get to say that. The Enchanting Empress bit back. I aged because I scouted 9 Serenity's tomb for you, and the demonic energy infected me. I've done so much for you, you ungrateful pig. Yet you only ever see me as your lapdog to use and discard. You gave me so many sweet promises back then, saying you'd take me to the sacred mountains. Yet when I got older, you didn't visit me once. The only reason you ever showed up again was because of Ching Ching 100 years ago. He Haodong sneered. Ungrateful? You have some nerve. Didn't you come on to me for something? We simply made a deal. We had fun for a while, and I gave you an earth cultivation method from the sacred mountains to get your emperor title. I'm the reason abroad, like, you got to stand tall among the other vicious men. Stop spouting rubbish. I wanted more than that. You said you'd take me to the sacred mountains. You were the most beautiful in the sacred domain, but the sacred mountains is a place based on bloodlines. A lowly nobody has no right to enter. Why did you promise me? You actually took those pillow talks seriously? Yenner, you were never that naive. He Haodong held his head high. I was the 6th sacred mountain lord successor, and I was not about to ruin my future over some broad. I'll be honest, you had no chance of stepping on sacred mountains, even if you were forever as enchanting as your younger self. Why you? The Enchanting Empress glared at him, and she grew more hideous in her rage. Her black energy grew thicker. He Haodong gave her a look of disgust. Look at you, so vile and ghastly. I'm sick just by looking at you. And what is this? He Haodong finally got to the point, holding the ashes in his hand. I don't care what abominable art you're into, but you better explain this to me. Why are these the same as the one you left me when my son died? Did you kill him? Red eyes stared at him with mockery and madness. Ha ha ha! What do you think, Brother Dong? You did it. He Haodong grew furious. He was my only son, you stinking broad. How cruel! The Enchanting Empress sneered. Only son? Ha ha ha! That's what you get for everything you've done. You could have had another son, but you were too savage and heartless, preferring to. The Enchanting Empress rubbed her belly. None is better than some stinking half-breed. He Haodong spat. The Enchanting Empress cackled. Since Lord Saint doesn't cherish it, or me, you could have killed me then. He Xiaofeng was your only son, so how could I stay my hand from your son? Ha! Did you really kill my son? He Haodong barked. Die, you bloody hag! The Enchanting Empress sneered and flicked her hand, turning into black mist and flying out of the cave. He Haodong, let's fight outside. Stand still, you hag! Whoosh! The two flew outside, and the Enchanting Empress looked back at him with laughter. She was wrapped in black energy, with 2 black flowers wearing ghastly faces towering 1,000 meters above He Haodong, sacred body. He Haodong gasped. You're a saint? Impossible. You never advanced in thousands of years, yet now you succeeded in just a year. The cultivation method I gave you could never have helped you. Ha ha ha, He Haodong. I knew you didn't want me on the sacred mountains, so how could you give me a good cultivation method? But when man proposes, God disposes. The sacred mountains aren't the only ones with the best cultivation methods. I found one down here. Humph, cocky much? A mere early saint broad can't do anything against a peak saint like me. He Haodong shot in the air with a disdainful smile. With a swift turn, thunderous lightning appeared around him, and suddenly a furious Vajra wielding 12 divine swords emerged around him. 300 meters tall, exuding an imposing and ferocious aura. Just as they appeared, They had already caused the heavens and earth to tremble. Vajra and the demon faced each other. Staring at the thunder giant, the enchanting empress recalled the past for a moment. Then her gaze turned manic, the demonic body shot forth, and two black lotuses on its back flew out, turning into bloody mouths, biting at the thunder giant. Bam! In a burst of lightning, the two dark flowers turned to nothing before they could strike. The Vajra held a thunder sword with a fierce and imposing aura. As he Haudong watched, he sneered. He seized the advantage and directed the giant to charge. His other hand grabbed another thunder sword from his back and slashed so fast he unleashed 72 strikes in a blink. When they stopped, a deafening explosion occurred and the demon shattered to pieces. The enchanting empress stumbled, falling to the ground and spewing blood. She was pale as her innards were lacerated, her life hanging by a thread. He Haudong withdrew his sacred body and walked over with malice. He grabbed the enchanting empress by the neck and roared, "Damn broad, you killed my son, and I'll send you to hell for this." The enchanting empress sneered like a demon wanting to send the world into oblivion. "Do you not fear death?" He Haudong raised an eyebrow and taunted, "Then I won't kill you, but I'll make you wish I did, ha ha ha." The enchanting empress had the same sneer on her face. He Haudong was puzzled. "You must have lost your mind. You think I can't do it? There's nothing a heartless man like you wouldn't do, ha ha ha." The enchanting empress mocked. "I'm laughing at you, for you can never make me beg for death." "What was that?" "I said, you can never make my life worse for an already dying woman. Ha ha ha." Her laughter was tinged with sadness and bitterness. He Haudong felt conflicted. But then he looked down to see the black energy enveloping her and turning her to dust. She was fading faster and faster, starting with her legs. "What is this?" "Brother Dong." The enchanting empress gave him a taunting look. "I knew this would be my end before I even fought you. It's great that I can let go of all the anger and grief for so many years before dying. But you will never get the chance. You will never know who really killed your son, ha ha ha." "What?" He Haudong barked and shook her. "You didn't kill my son? Then who did? Tell me." The enchanting empress closed her eyes as the black energy ate her alive in the moment of her death. Her mouth formed a bitter smile. "Steward Jua, you were excellent. Everyone fell for your trick. I should have known that the demonic emperor's cultivation method and He Xiaofeng's death, as well as Qingqing's disappearance, were related to you. I just wanted a sovereign cultivation method so badly that I didn't care about anything else. Of everyone, you are the only winner standing, easily taking over all the lands with us, unable to climb out of this damning cultivation method. What a deep mind, what a thorough plan. But I am not going to pass on this cruel cultivation method on my deathbed like you gave it to us. I'm sorry to disappoint. I may hate him, but I once loved him, despite him not caring, ha ha ha. Enchanting Empress, tell me now, damn it, who killed my son?" He Haudong was outraged at her silence. The enchanting Empress closed her eyes. "I won't tell you. I won't let you get revenge for another woman's son. It's my last selfish wish. Enchanting Empress, farewell." A familiar voice entered her ears. Chapter 1270, Sacred Mountains Outrage. Chapter 1270, Sacred Mountains Outrage. Proofreader, Papatonks. The enchanting Empress' brow shook, Zhuofan. "You can call me an old friend, demonic Emperor Zhuifan." "What? Not many knew of your affair back then, but some of the 8 emperors did, including me." Zhuofan had his eyes closed not far, sending, "I'm doing this to settle our age-long grudge. I gave you the chance to settle your affair, but you chose not to. So that's why." The enchanting Empress chuckled. "You came back and now you live up to your name in uniting our lands, for you were the strongest among us." The black energy surged and the enchanting Empress was swallowed up, leaving behind nothing but dust. He Haudong's grip now held ashes and broken cloth, just like his son. He looked at the sky, confused, and roared, "What the hell is going on? Who killed my son? Where is Chu Qingqing?" Is the enchanting empress innocent or not? You'll know in time. There's no need to be hasty, mountain lord he. Zhuo Fan's eyes flashed, and he snickered. He stood up and brushed the dirt off his body as he left a month later. Zhuo Fan went to the Luo clan's base and entered his study with a smile. He gave a bookcase a light push, and it slided to reveal a shelf with 8 pieces of wood holding the names of the 8 emperors. 3 of them were missing. He took out the enchanting empress token and smiled. Farewell, enchanting empress. Zhuo Fan flicked it behind him. It burned in midair, landing in a brazier. Zhuo Fan! Chu Qingchang burst in with a broad smile, but the row of emperor tokens left her startled. What are you doing? Zhuo Fan smiled and shrugged. Nothing, just cleaning. Cleaning? These? Chu Qingchang gave the tokens a skeptical look, feeling uneasy at the missing ones. Then she turned to the piece burning in the brazier, enough remaining for her to discern the enchanting empress being written on it. Why did you burn my master's token? Oh, Qingchang, you care so much about the murder that tormented your family. Chu Qingchang was grave, shaking her head. I don't. She hurt my family, but she is still my master that raised me for a century. How would you choose if you had to kill her? Zhuo Fan was solemn. Chu Qingchang shuddered and teared up. I don't know. I just can't face her. Zhuo Fan, I don't know what to do. It's good that you don't know. Zhuo Fan held her shoulder, sighing. You don't need to know, but I won't lie to you. Your master is dead. What? I'm a man who can differentiate between personal and public matters. If I were you, I would have burned with revenge, going after her life for killing my family. But as she raised me and became my master, as a disciple, I should be filial. Zhuo Fan looked her in the eye. You no longer have to kill her. If you're still concerned, hold her last rites for all she has done for you. Of course, this is what I do. If you find anything painful, just do what your heart tells you and forget what I said. Chu Qingchang rushed to say, No, you're right, opening my eyes. I could never strike her, but the least I can do is hold her last rites as her disciple for peace of mind. Great, go tell the rest and get ready. Chu Qingcheng nodded with a smile, leaving while taking one last look at the wooden tokens. Zhuo Fan smiled as he turned to the tokens. And then there were 4. Of the 8 emperors, only 4 remain. You must be thrilled to finally train in the supreme, demonic cultivation method you yearned for so long. Ha ha ha. Steward Zhuo. Li Jingtian rushed in with a smile. I heard Miss Chu saying she wants to hold service for her master. Does that mean you succeeded? Zhuo Fan nodded. Yeah, I went to see the enchanting empress and found her a saint in just a year. Ha ha ha. She did it in a year when thousands of years didn't help. Li Jingtian smirked. Steward Zhuo, you have an obscene cultivation method on you. You could use it to become a saint in no time at all, even sovereign. By then your greatest worry won't come to be. Zhuo Fan was grave. Witnessing the 8 emperors training in the demon transformation art, I am now certain it emphasizes transformation and not absorbing all creation. Cultivation fills your heart with demons. It's better to be slow than rush it so that the demons can be purged and you can stand above them, achieving the pinnacle of the demonic path. Letting demons control you isn't the answer. The demon transformation art's swift speed is a great temptation, but only by not falling for its lure will one cultivate its essence. Those like Zhao Qin and the other 8 emperors will fall prey to it. But this is easier said than done. None can understand a sovereign's mind. Elderly, if there comes a time when you seniors touch upon the sovereign stage, remember this. Tao is boundless, thus one must never be impatient. Ha ha ha, Steward Zhuo, you're expecting too much. It's best you tell this to old Dan and them. I don't qualify. Li Jingtian beamed. Haodong had seen the enchanting empress' harrowing demise, and he became doubtful and lost. Who killed my son, if not her? He had been looking into it for months now, but never found anything. He chose to leave it be for now, for he had something urgent to discuss with the old men. The Sacred Mountains plan for the Emperor lands had gone sideways. They had done the work for others to reap the profits? Their endless pride could never accept such a loss. It was like the sacred mountains were taken for fools. Mountain lord he. On the seventh sacred mountain, in front of a splendid hall, Hihaudong was greeted by kneeling saints. Hihaudong gave them a quick wave as he asked, "Are the other mountain lords in?" "The mountain lords are discussing right now. Allow us to notify them." "Notify and discuss crap, more like it. Our efforts are taken by someone else, and they have time for a chat?" Hihaudong stormed, and an old man with a long beard in the head seat smiled. "Haudong, sit please. We were just talking about how those brats we sent down are doing a good job and keeping the peace. They still have a knack for leading the people. We intend to send 3 more to take over other spots in the 8 emperors. We are still debating who. Haudong, do you have any young talents on the 6th sacred mountain? Let's send someone from your place this time. Ha ha ha. Send more fools to dance to another's tunes? To make it worse, they're happy to do it in their ignorance." Hihaudong slumped in his chair, gnashing his teeth. "Brothers, you're only hearing brats bragging about their great achievements while hiding what's really happening down there. Just send someone to see. The Emperor lands are now under the Luo clan's leadership, with the people knowing nothing of the 8 emperors or sacred mountains. The 3 young masters we sent are worse than puppets. At least with royal puppets, the people know who rules. But these dumb brats—" "What?" The 6 gasped. "Haudong, W, what did you say?" "Just tell us straight what's going on. Who is the Luo clan? We never heard of it." Hihaudong's face twitched, and he sighed. "These fools have been stuck on the sacred mountains all this time and are blind to the world outside. They only focus on the annual tribute, oblivious to the 3 brats acting just like them, ruining the sacred mountain's name with their crude attempts. Then the Luo clan swooped in to take over with no effort. Utter fools." Hihaudong took a deep breath and sipped his tea. Then he recounted all he'd seen. The 6 old men blinked in shock, then were outraged. The Luo clan deserved death for deceiving the mighty and all-powerful sacred mountains. They didn't even stop to think of the horrors their 3 disciples inflicted on the innocent population, or the scores of people killed unjustly. And now they had the nerve to be angry. Chapter 1271, Disaster Knocking. Chapter 1271, Disaster Knocking. Proofreader, Papatonks. Steward Joie here. What is? At the break of dawn, Li Jingtian rushed into Zhuo Fan's study. The latter looked up from the latest reports. With a frown, Li Jingtian grinned and bowed. "Like you predicted, the Emperor's lands are in chaos once more. People are missing en masse now from largely the area once belonging to the Wraith Emperor, Sword Emperor, and the others. They must have run out of materials and gone out for another hunt. Although it's easy to absorb thousands of people, the regrets of each person have to be removed one at a time to prevent the regrets from twisting one's thoughts and causing insanity. Zhao Chan didn't, and neither did the enchanting Empress. Ha ha ha, they have passed the point of no return. Do they think the pinnacle of demonic cultivation is so easy to train in?" Zhuo Fan sneered. Li Jingtian nodded with a mocking smile. They were quite careful the first time around, covering their tracks in their abductions and leaving no trace behind. Now they just kill and train in the open. They have already lost it, and didn't even bother to think, ha ha ha. What about the people in those areas? In panic, the sudden appearance of those lunatics spread panic and terror. The people are fleeing all over the place. The time for the Luo clan to step up has come. Zhuo Fan's eyes shone. Elderly, call old Dan and the other top experts. We're splitting up and removing the last of the 8 emperors for good. It will make the lands hum as the people shout out the Luo clan's name for days on end. Li Jingtian nodded, looking excited. Awesome, we're finally doing it. The top Luo clan experts split into groups for their designated mission to take down the last 4 of the 8 emperors. They might be saints, but the ex-sword kings were no average peak emperors either. Zhuo Fan had complete confidence in them. At the same time, in a lavish pavilion, the 3 sacred mountains' disciples lay back in their chairs to enjoy the bright sun. The gentle breeze brought fresh air that soothed their relaxed minds. Su Tianchuan sneered at the two. Being one of the 8 emperors is so damn easy. We're practically on holiday, ha ha ha. Yeah, just delegate all matters to others. Why bother doing anything ourselves? We were too green when we arrived, and all our hard work was only met with dissatisfaction. Chu Xiangfing grinned. Elder brother, it's even better than on the sacred mountains. No one bothers us about cultivation. We are free to be our own masters, ha ha ha. Wu Qianqiu agreed. The best part of all, we can just forget about the monthly reports to the sacred mountains and just enjoy a life of bliss and freedom. I bet our fellow brothers and sisters would seethe with jealousy if they knew how good we had it. The 3 laughed together. Su Tianchuan sat straight just then. I must say that Zhuan knows his stuff. We tried all we could to solve the problems, but he did it like it was nothing. I can see why the demonic emperor had him take over his lands. It's so much easier with him around. With him having a handle on everything, we can just kick back and enjoy life. Right? It's amazing how someone of his low cultivation can order so many experts around. They're so quick to listen to, a real talent. Chu Xiangfing sat straight as well, laughing. Leave the emperor lands in his hands, and we'll get endless holidays. Better than on the sacred mountains, right guys? The others laughed along. A thunderous roar had the 2 shivering. Brats, did the sacred mountains send you here on vacation? Humph, nothing but garbage. Whoosh! The 3 scrambled out of their chairs in fear, bowing. Greetings, 6th sacred mountain lord. How may we be of assistance? You dare ask me that? You don't even know how bad you messed up? Ugh. The trio looked lost, with Su Tianchuan gathering his courage to say, Mountain Lord, we don't understand what you mean. We have low talents, but we never neglected our duty in the Emperor's lands. With the sacred mountain's blessings, the lands are safe and prosperous. We dare not take such credit. Whatever mistake we might have made, it's unknown to us. Oh, nice excuse you got there. He Haodong mocked. Then I should be showering you with rewards for a job well done, right? No. How could we? The 3 shook their heads with wide smiles. He Haodong's face twitched. Ha! You really want a reward. Now ask yourselves this. Were you the ones who pacified the lands? Or you had not the slightest involvement? The trio shook, exclaiming, Mountain Lord, he knows the truth. But what's so bad about it? Why the hissy fit? Mountain Lord, we didn't do everything ourselves, but we found the right man for the job. How is that any different? Su Tianchuan explained, we 3 alone had to recruit helpers. Master has also warned and trained us to recognize talent. Haven't we done just that? Why so angry? He Haodong glared at their gullible faces. Humph, you found a mighty helper all right. So great that you've made all of the Emperor's lands oblivious of your existence. Everyone only knows of the Luo clan leading, and not the sacred mountains. The mere mention of you had them spouting curses and looks of scorn. Is this the great credit you earn the sacred mountains? What, be but how? The trio were stunned. Steward Zhua gave us the reports for a preview the past year. How could the world not know we're the ones ruling the 8 emperors' lands? He Haodong barked, You worthless fools, that's just for show. Have you ever taken a walk outside and seen whose name they're shouting? The Luo clan and Zhua Fan. They don't even know you're his puppets. That's worse than a puppet emperor, who at least the people see and are aware of. Is this why we sent you down here, to be lost in obscurity? What, that? The trio were floored now, then were filled with righteous rage. Su Tianchuan slammed the table, breaking it into pieces this time. That son of she-dog played us for fools. We'll peel his skin and tear his flesh from his bones. The trio shot to their feet to make good on their threats. He Haodong's expression was dark as he flared his nostrils. I'm coming along, since this is why I'm here. You have been an utter disappointment so far. You had no idea the other had used you for the entire year, disgracing the sacred mountains. We can no longer trust you with anything. I'm here to make sure the job is done and not let you mess it up further. He Haodong flew away the other. 3 gnashed their teeth. Curse that Zhuo Fan, toying with us and ruining our good name. We'll have your head for this, you and your Luo clan. Crack! The trio's power exploded with their fury. In a dark forest, the ground was filled with dust and pieces of cloth as 2 people appeared. Sword Child said, Dad, just like the other 4 cities, he cultivated here as well. The cities, having been so large, still had some remains, but there's nothing here. That means this is his hideout where he brings back everything he got outside. Zhuo Fan snickered and roared. The Sword Emperor, stop hiding. We know you're there. The once great head of the 8 emperors, who reduced his own men to dust and butchered innocents, hasn't got the nerve to show himself? Shut your pie hole. An angry roar came and the world shook. An old man with messy hair flew in the air, staring down at them. His figure looked demonic with the black energy swirling around. Chapter 1272, Swordsmanship Battle. Chapter 1272, Swordsmanship Battle. Proofreader, Papatonks. The Sword Emperor floated down with his white hair swaying, showing his gaunt face. The corruption from the black energy that surrounded him struck terror in all who saw him. He was nothing like the previous head of the 8 emperors, but a demon that hell spat out. The Sword Emperor cursed like he wasn't aware who Zhuo Fan was. Rubbish! I'm the head of the 8 emperors, the pinnacle of the righteous path. I could never kill my own men. Only the demonic emperor and the like would dirty their hands as such. I am a man of honor and modesty. You have no right to impugn it. Yeah, Dad, there's nothing but dust around. How do you know he killed his men? There's nothing here to show it, not even a bone. His deranged look says it all. He's cultivated for too long. Zhuo Fan pointed at the Sword Emperor's mad gaze. 5 of the 8 emperors went into hiding with their people and enough materials, thinking they would soon come back out, but there's no end to greed. Take the demon transformation art too far, and your mind gets warped. When these old fools found their materials ran out, their thirst grew so big they turned on their own people. The fact he looks like this proves he had no control in curbing this desire, or how he went around like a ravenous beast sucking up people's lives. I was thus confident the Sword Emperor's people were reduced to ashes by his own hand. But this geezer still thinks of himself as the model of dignity and honor. His actions drove him even more mad than the enchanting empress to not even recognize his people, but to see them as just walking materials. Sword Child nodded. I figured something was up when he didn't even remember the great Steward Zhuo. Steward Zhuo? Who is that? The Sword Emperor shook his head. His eyes hazy. Zhuo Fan smirked in contempt. I was but a nobody and didn't require the Sword Emperor's attention. But there's one name I'm sure he still remembers. Zhuo Fan paused. Sword Emperor, do you remember demonic emperor Zhuo Yifan? Zhuo Yifan. The Sword Emperor's face shook and he roared. Zhuo Yifan is not the head of the 8 emperors. I am. He is dead. His 9 serenities, secret records are mine. He can't threaten me. Ha ha ha. That fool. Zhao Qin, I got him in the 8 emperors, but I can remove him just as well. He isn't fit to even fight me. That idiot is worthless. I only helped him to get at his master. Hi hi hi. Zhuo Fan took a deep breath, his face flat, but his eyes mocking. Sword Emperor, you wanted the 9 serenities secret records that much. Of course, the demonic sovereign's cultivation method is something I must have. Since Zhuo Yifan didn't give it, I killed him. Congratulations, you now have it. Oh, really? The Sword Emperor flipped his dirty sleeves to search them. Where's my 9 serenities secret records? In your heart. Aren't you training it? Oh, I am training it? Haha, I am. The Sword Emperor gave a mad laughter. I've cultivated 9 serenities, secret records, and become the demonic sovereign. No one can stop me now. The 7 sacred mountains are nothing but bugs at my feet. Ha ha ha. Yeah, you reign supreme, the pinnacle of the world. But there is one man who is still above you. Who? The Sword Emperor glared at Zhuo Fan with savagery. Zhuo Fan smiled. Me. You? Who are you? Demonic Emperor. Zhuo Yifan. Zhuo Yifan uttered, "What?" The Sword Emperor staggered back 2 steps. "No, he died. He can't be alive." "You're wrong. Demonic Emperor Zhuo Yifan didn't die. He's standing right before you. As long as he's alive, you will always be second, Sword Emperor Ao Changtian. No, I trained in 9 serenities, secret records. I'm the demonic sovereign. The demonic emperor is nothing to me." "Wrong. The demonic emperor also trained in 9 serenities, secret records. Far better than you. You will always be in his shadow." "Ah!" The Sword Emperor howled, his eyes bloodshot as he glared at Zhuo Fan with bloodthirst. He charged with a black blade, slashing at him. "Zhuo Yifan, die. Die, so I may be the head of the 8 emperors, the best in the world." Ding! The Sword Emperor got flung back from the clash, staggering 5 steps. He now noticed the 8-year-old next to Zhuo Fan and his cruel smile. "To get to my dad, you'll have to go through me first." "Who are you?" "He's the Sword Emperor." Zhuo Fan said at the Sword Emperor's shock. "He's the Sword Emperor? Then who am I?" "Whoever you want, but never again can you be the Sword Emperor, because you're not worthy of this title." Zhuo Fan smirked. Sword Emperor, the Emperor of the Sword. He might not be the strongest among the 8 emperors, but he should be at the pinnacle of the sword path, out of everyone's reach. But now, Ao Changtian, someone has surpassed you in the sword. My son won that title, leaving you in the dust, ha ha ha. The Sword Emperor's dark face twisted. "No, I'm the Sword Emperor. I have the highest sword skills among the 8 emperors. None can take my name." Bam! The Sword Emperor howled and shot into the sky. Golden lights shone from his body, turning into a huge broadsword, its beauty marred by the black energy corroding it a sacred body. Sword Child glanced at Zhuo Fan. He became a saint. "You won't fight him." "As if. I came to take his title. Calling himself the Sword Emperor to my face is like asking to be thrashed." Sword Child snickered and shot for the Sword Emperor. The Sword Emperor looked at the little thing with rage. "You dare steal my name? Take my sword." Whoosh! A golden wave shot from the sky with tremendous power, a sword to crush the heavens, a fortune upon the world, a purger of evil. "Humph! You have some nerve to say that. You've become evil yourself, a demon, and you dare preach about purging it?" Sword Child mocked, drawing 2 fingers in a red glow as he shouted, "Soaring sword, obliterate!" Bam! The golden wave was smashed apart. The Sword Emperor gasped in disbelief, sending another golden wave, sweeping the 8 emperors, breaking demons, and destroying evil. There's no strength in a twisted heart training in dignified swordsmanship. Sword Child mocked. Your sword is tainted, yet you call yourself an emperor? You're a disgrace to all sword cultivators in the world. Get lost. Sword Child flicked his hand and a thunder wave shot, using the sundering sword art. The golden wave was crushed. Once more the Sword Emperor was stunned. Why are my sacred body's swords so weak? Sword Child reached him, and his fingers shone black this time, slashing. Here's a true sword art apocalyptic sword. Who? Blackness flooded as it pierced the huge head and cut it in 2 with a mighty explosion. It disintegrated. The Sword Emperor coughed blood and slumped to the ground. Having lost all strength, his eyes were still confused, mumbling, "Why? I'm a saint, so why did my sword grow weaker?" "Because you abandoned it." Zhuo Fan walked over, sighing, "Ao Changtian, when we made a name for ourselves in the sacred domain, none of us would back down from a fight. But in the end, I became the strongest when the 8 emperors formed, and you, ever the second." Zhuo Yifan, the Sword Emperor's eyes cleared up somewhat. "How are you still alive and look like this?" "Steward Zhuo." "Oh, you're awake." "All I know is that I lost." The Sword Emperor gave a bitter smile. "But I didn't lose to that child, but against myself. I, the great Sword Emperor, shunned the pursuit of the sword and went for a demonic cultivation method? I cast away my sword and trained in a shaky demonic path. Now that the demonic energy is gone from me, my end has come. I'm dying, but now I've come to realize why. My sword doesn't need the demonic sovereign's cultivation method, for that is not me. Zhuo Fan nodded and took his hand. It's good you realized it. As an old rival, I'll forget all the grudges and send you off. Sure, Zhui Yifan. The Sword Emperor nodded, looking at the black energy on his hand. What is this? Don't you find giving your strength to the world a waste? It's better to let me take it. You, the Sword Emperor's face shook, sighing. Zhui Yifan, you're still the same infuriating. This is what you meant by sending me off, turning me into your material. Be careful not to end up like me. Rest easy, for I've long passed the point of letting greed control me. I have the restraint to not degenerate. Ha ha ha, great. I never knew the grudge 5,000 years ago was still ongoing, that it was just the start. It's you who won in the end, old rival. The Sword Emperor closed his eyes without regret, turning to dust. Zhuo Fan let the dust slip from his hand, and his eyes shone as his aura surged. Chapter 1273, Saint Stage. Chapter 1273, Saint Stage. Proofreader, Papatonks. Sword Child snickered, Dadu. Watch over me. With no time to set up a defensive array, Zhuo Fan sat down with a stern look. Sword Child knew this was serious and looked around with scrutiny. Who? A violent wind blew away the dust high up in the sky while the ground quaked. Zhuo Fan's power surged higher and higher, seeping into the earth and forcing Sword Child back a few steps. Dad has many sovereign legacies, and now he's entering Saint Stage, stronger than ever. The only way for the 7 sacred mountains to get the upper hand against Dad is if they surround him. The hidden sovereign aside, Dad is the strongest in the sacred domain. Zhuo Fan shook, and a black image flew out of his body. It kept growing until it formed a black giant behind him, like a shadow. It reached 500 meters and roared at the heavens. A draconic roar echoed out as a blacker energy seeped from his body and wrapped the giant. Following cracking sounds, the giant now had black dragon scales all over it. A pitch-black cape fluttered behind, while a dragon maw was emblazoned on its chest with flickering eyes. The draconic roar shook the world around, making Sword Child cover his ears as he felt his soul shaking. He gasped, looking in awe at the huge shadow. This is Dad's sacred body? Amazing. He never felt such a powerful soul attack in his life. Not even the dragon saints could do it. Zhuo Fan eased a breath and turned grave. He flew up and entered the giant's forehead. Its eyes shone black and golden. With Zhuo Fan's divine eye of the void and apocalyptic thunderflame, he looked like a demonic god ready to bring down the end of days. Sword Child staggered in shock. Zhuo Fan shouted, "Come, my sword!" Yes. Sword Child shot for Zhuo Fan and turned into the sovereign weapon Pa. Gripping the blade, Zhuo Fan grinned and slashed as the giant shadow copied him. A 200-meter-long pitch-black sword appeared in its hand. Surging with black flames, this was his true, sacred body, the peak form to cause untold destruction. With the apocalyptic sword in his hand, he was at full strength. In the Luo clan's main city, Luo Yinchang, and the girls chatted with Chu Qingqing about Zhuo Fan. At Zhuo Fan's request, they never revealed the two's past, just talking about his temper and annoying quirks. The girls laughed and giggled sometimes, while complaining the rest. What was constant was their admiration for him. Chu Qingqing was puzzled. "Young Miss Luo, you all like Zhuo Fan." Well, the girls blinked and shook their heads in silence. Chu Qingqing found it even more peculiar. Why then is he only coming at me? I know that all of you are prettier than me, and like Zhuo Fan more as well, so why? Sister Qingqing, don't think too hard about it. He likes you, and that's a fact. We also wish him happiness and bless. Is he just using me? Chu Qingqing turned nervous. Luo Yinchang guffawed. How can you think that? I saw the 8 emperors' tokens in his room. Just when my master died, he burned her token. So I figured, did he plan on striking the 8 emperors from the start? Chu Qingcheng looked crushed. Did he get close to me for another reason entirely? Staying in the Luo clan for so long, I can tell that he has a special status controlling everything. Even your clan head listens to his words. He has nothing to worry about being punished by the clan head. He lied to me from the start. Luo Yunchang sighed and held her shoulder. Sister Qingqing, you have to believe me. Zhuo Fan can betray the world, but he would never betray you. Why? We only met a couple of times, so why I'm sure he approached me on purpose too. Besides getting at my master, there must be another reason. Sister Qingqing, Big Brother Zhuo's reason for approaching you is honest. He truly likes you. Shuanger smiled as she explained this explanation had no real reason and only got Chu Qingqing more worried. How is it that you all know the reason while I'm the only one in the dark? You all say he's sincere, and I also feel it. But I just can't understand why he would ignore all the beauties around him and go for me. I'm not that charming. Silly sister, it's enough to know he's sincere. Why nitpick about it? Luo Yunchang sighed. You two are alike in that, following your own paths. You're the one trying to unravel everything while he's determined to hide it. Why? I don't know. Luo Yunchang shrugged. Maybe he doesn't want to burden you or make you sad. Since you have a new life, he wants to bury the past. Chu Qingcheng looked confused, but the knowing girls just gave her a reassuring nod. Just what is going on? She held her head, more confused than ever. Luo Yunchang comforted. Silly sister, isn't it enough to know he cares? Why bother thinking so much? Ha! Chu Qingqing gave a reluctant nod. Luo clan, come out this instant. The sudden shout made the sky tremble. The Luo clan shuddered. With roof tiles falling down, the girls turned to Luo Yunchang. She was grave. Zhuo Fan had all our strongest people sent to kill the lunatics. Now, with no one capable of defending our home, someone comes knocking. Sister Yunchang, let's check the situation first. Yun Shuang proposed. Luo Yunchang nodded, and the girls went to the entrance of the Luo clan manor. Luo Yunhai already brought the few emperors he had outside. Staring at the 4 in the sky, a middle-aged man led them. The 6th Mountain Lord, Senior, how may I address you? I am the clan head, Luo Yunhai. What have we done to offend you, Senior? Luo Yunhai cupped his hands. He Haodong sneered. Su Tianchuan was the one to speak with pride. Where's Zhuo Fan? Tell him to come out now. Oh, Steward Zhuo. He's been awfully busy in the Emperor lands. He's taken people to settle matters. You'll have to wait a few months for his return. There's someone stirring things in Emperor lands. Why don't I know of this? Su Tianchuan roared. Zhuo Fan has some nerve, moving as he wants, not even informing us 3 of the Emperor land situation. He plans on taking them from us. Curses! I had high hopes for him, giving him such a crucial position, but he took advantage of my goodwill. God damn it! Su Tianchuan raved, and Luo Yunhai cupped his hands. Sir, we are the true rulers of the Emperor lands, the sacred mountains, 3 representatives within the 8 emperors. Su Tianchuan's nostrils flared, then pointed at He Haodong with respect. He is the 6th sacred mountain's lord. Your clan dared to deceive us, and now shall receive the capital punishment. Luo Yunhai gasped. The 6th sacred mountain? Here so soon? But we have yet to hear from the dragons. He Haodong huffed. Stop wasting time and just kill them to preserve the sacred mountain's dignity. Once Zhuo Fan returns, deal with him as well. Let all of the 8 emperors' lands know today that they're under your control, while the Luo clan seized power and were executed. Yes. The trio snickered and turned to the Luo clan with savage glints in their eyes. Chapter 1274. Taken. Chapter 1274. Taken. Proofreader, Papatonks. Luo Yunhai's face twitched. His heart sank as he looked behind at his people. They were average emperors and couldn't handle the 3 peak emperors from the sacred mountains. It would have been great if that was all, but there was also the Mountain Lord. The Mountain Lord was a peak saint. With Steward Zhuo and all the other true experts gone. They stood no chance at even escaping. Luo Yinhai lamented at their fate. Su Tianquan's trio grinned with malice. Their bloodlust spiked, and their auras surged, ready to crush the Luo clan into the dust. Wait! A gentle voice came as a figure rushed before them and stalled the trio's bloodthirst. Su Tianquan sneered. What is it, young miss? Do you want to be our first victim? Humph! Kill me and you're through. Oh, quite the temper on you. We are the Sacred Mountain's disciples. Yet you think your backer can fight us? Of course. Who's the suicidal moron? Right under your nose. The girl pointed straight at He Haodong. The trio started. He Haodong was curious. Young miss, do you know me? Nope. Why would I bother to protect you? Because you want me. The girl shouted. He Haodong gave her a long look, more confused. Su Tianquan mocked. Lass, don't flatter yourself. You think you're the most beautiful lady in the sacred domain? Humph, who am I? The girl glared at He Xiaofeng. Mountain Lord He, if you really are the 6th Mountain Lord, then you'd know I'm Chu Qingcheng, just like your son and my master. You were actually here. He Haodong's brow shot up, muttering, so the Luo clan took you from the Ruby Cloud sect when they found you missing. I left and wasn't taken. I don't care. This just means they have something to do with my son's death. He Haodong's fury grew, his terrible aura spreading over everyone and making Su Tianquan shiver back. Mountain Lord, he is angry. Talk. How did my son die? You were all ignored for so long, thinking you were weaklings. But this proves I need to conduct a thorough investigation. Mountain Lord He, what are you saying? We had nothing to do with your son. Luo Yinhai played dumb. He knew the moment that the fact Zhuo Fan killed He Xiaofeng got out, the Luo clan would turn into a grave. They just had to bear through it for a bit, and their lives would still hang on. He had to, so Zhuo Fan and the others could arrive on time to save them. He Haodong ignored their excuse, thirsty for vengeance. Humph, I don't need you to admit it either. You can't escape involvement either. Su Tianquan, show no mercy. Yes. The trio laughed and shot down. Luo Yinhai panicked and got ready to fight. Chu Qingqing held a spiritual sword and brought it to her neck, shouting, Just try it. If even one man dies today, I will join them in the afterlife. Your century of planning will all go to waste. Wait. He Haodong raised his hand. Stopping the confused trio, He Haodong glared at her. What's your relation to them? Why protect them? You don't need to know, since they had nothing to do with your son. Let them go, and I'll come with you. Or the only thing you'll be getting are corpses and an unsolved riddle. Chu Qingqing smiled. He Haodong nodded. Fine, the enchanting empress raised quite the stubborn disciple. Now put down the sword. I promise you. But you must also promise to listen to me, and I'll let them go. Chu Qingcheng looked back at the Luo clan with worry, then gave a firm nod. All right, now come with me. He Haodong was grave as he left, his voice echoing. And the clan head, he'll be coming with me to the Sacred Mountains. I need to clarify some things. As for the rest, I don't care. Luo Yinhai gave the others a nod and flew up with Chu Qingqing after him. The 3 young masters remained behind with the Luo clan, with the clan head gone, and no experts. There was no telling when Steward Zhuo would be back to handle matters. Bang! Then suddenly explosions resounded around the Luo clan, and people were crashing into the ground. As they coughed blood, Luo Yunchang cried out at the vile trio, What are you doing? The Mountain Lord promised to let us go. The Mountain Lord promised not to kill you, but that didn't mean we can't beat you. We promised nothing. The trio grinned with malice. Zhuo Fan had the nerve to toy with us, making us receive punishment from the Sacred Mountains, so we'll make him pay. Once he returns, I'll show him what happens to bugs in the 8 Emperors' lands who try to rise above their station. Luo Yunchang's face sank. A month later, Zhuo Fan smiled at the city coming up in front. Almost home. I wonder if Qingqing missed me. She won't be the only one. Sword Child snickered. Zhuo Fan, shook his head Russell. Dozens of figures flew next to the two dancing Shin, and the others they noticed Zhuo Fan was now at the 7th layer of foundation establishment stage, and they lit up. Steward Zhuo, you advanced. Yeah, Dad is now a saint. Sword Child spoke with glee. The others gasped. So soon? Ha ha ha, it was just luck. Zhuo Fan was casual. I found it such a waste letting all the demonic energy Sword Emperor refined just vanish. So I took it and happened to break through. Since the source of his demonic energy is the same as mine, it was very easy to take it. Danqing Shin nodded and mentioned, Steward Zhuo's advancement is a reason to celebrate, but be careful not to stray like them. We witnessed just what happens when you lose your way. Their strength only increased while their path crumbled, just like a powerful wild animal. I'd rather be stuck than turn into such a saint. Yeah, but don't worry. I know what I'm doing. Zhuo Fan nodded. Did you handle the other 8 emperors? They all laughed, with Li Jingtian declaring, Steward Zhuo, those madmen were nothing. It might have been a little tough with just one, but we were 5 against them, making it very easy. Good. This is a big matter, and we'll make a statement when we return home that the Sacred Mountain Saints are causing havoc and we're waging war with them to stop them. Yes. Everyone nodded. Sword Child gasped as he pointed. Father, why are the flags crooked on the broken walls? Did someone come here? Can't be. Zhuo Fan frowned. The 8 emperors' lands are ours, and with the sacred mountains in the dark, none can challenge us. Unless. Zhuo Fan flew faster. Chapter 1275. Can't take it. Chapter 1275. Can't take it. Proofreader, Papatonks. Crack. The sharp sound of whips echoed in the Luo clan's wide gardens, where a dozen poles were placed with Luo Yunchang and the other high officials tied up to them. They all looked pale and bleeding, but their eyes were firm. Su Tianchuan cracked the whip once more, then threw it away like a child. Elder brother, I've whipped them hundreds of times. I'm tired. Tired? That's nowhere near enough. All elders of the sacred mountains laugh at us. The great sacred mountains' disciples ended up running in circles in the 8 emperors' lands. We are too ashamed to go back as we are. Su Tianchuan turned a savage grin to his victims. This is all because of them. The 8 emperors' lands think they're governed by the Luo clan, not sacred mountains. The Luo clan usurped power and must suffer. But Mountain Lord, he said not to kill them. That's why we're only venting on them. Su Tianchuan held out his hand in anger. Just give me the whip. I'll do it this time. Chu Xiangfeng sighed and handed it over. Su Tianchuan used his 2 hands to test the whip around, then turned his vicious gaze on the helpless people. He approached a girl and nodded. You! Su Tianchuan swung back and let it fall. Luo Yunchang panicked. Stop. She's just a child. She can't take your hits. I'll take her place. It's because she can't. It'll be her torture. Su Tianchuan cackled. Whipping Spirit King's tough bodies won't make you feel a thing. Only this young girl with low cultivation will have a full taste of pain. Ha ha ha. Whoosh! The whip flicked in action. Luo Yunchang panicked. Siphon. The girl had long since lost consciousness and couldn't hear her. A muffled sound came just then, and the whip halted in the air. Su Tianchuan flinched and found Zhuo Fan holding it. He had a hard face. While Danqing Shin and the rest looked ready for war, they'd been gone for a couple of months, yet someone made a mess of their clan. Intolerable. Zhuo Fan. Luo Yunchang and Su Tianchuan cried out at the same time. The first was of joy, while the second was of anger and shock for not noticing when a bug took his whip. Zhuo Fan glared and muttered. None in the 8 emperors' lands would mess with the Luo clan. The sacred mountains can't reach us either, unless they're the entitled, puppeteered pricks got wilder and came here for a fight. The odds of that happening are next to 0, rather than enjoying their happy lives. So why humph to think it's actually you? Zhuo Fan, you have some nerve. You dared to use us for puppets. Su Tianchuan roared. I'm going to kill you for your treachery. Even if Mountain Lord, he promised not to kill the Luo clan. You must die. Su Tianchuan shot for Zhuo Fan with bloodlust. A palm to the face, Zhuo Fan merely grabbed Su Tianchuan's hand, startling Qianqiu and Wu Qianqiu. It was beyond their comprehension how a peak emperor like Su Tianchuan could be grabbed like that. Su Tianchuan was stunned, then baffled. He then noticed the iron grip holding him and how powerless he was. Zhuo Fan ignored their shock. Mountain Lord he? Sixth Mountain Lord, he's Xiaofeng's dad? That's right. Now let go before you're dead. Su Tianchuan replied while attempting to yank his hand free. Zhuo Fan's hand shook and Su Tianchuan lunged forward. A bang followed as Zhuo Fan slapped him to pieces, Su Tianchuan's body exploding in a shower of blood and flesh. SSS. The other two gasped and shivered. Why you killed a sacred mountain's disciple? Are you suicidal? Our fate is not up to you to decide. Zhuo Fan showed a vicious smile, since you won't be there to see it. Zhuo Fan gave Dan Qingshan a look, and the Sword Kings unleashed their deadly sword arts on the two and Emperor stage. Sacred Mountain's disciple had the advantage with the superior skills and cultivation method. But that was gone when facing Sword Kings who inherited the sovereign's legacy. In a blink, the two breathed their last and were reduced to pieces. Zhuo Fan signaled the men to release the people on the pillars, while he went to untie Luo Yunchang and the girls. His heart bled at their wounds. What happened? Where's Yunhai and Qingcheng? The girls looked away, and Zhuo Fan understood. Did Mountain Lord he seal your cultivation? There's no way those three could have captured you. It's because Sister Yunchang worried about your plans. Schwanger glared at him. I was about to fight when the trio began attacking, but Sister Yunchang blocked us, not wanting to expose us and ruin your plan. Since they only wanted to hurt us and not kill us, it wouldn't matter. Zhuo Fan was lost, looking at Luo Yunchang's happy face. I was just too worried about your plans. Since we knew nothing, we couldn't do anything to ruin them. Now, Qingcheng and Yunhai are now on the 6th sacred mountain. If we had attacked those pricks, then the sacred mountains would notice and ruin everything. So we held in this little torment for the bigger picture. We'd discuss what to do when you came back, rather than have all our work fail. Young miss, you're still the same, looking at the future, the bellwether of the Luo clan. Even without Yunhai around, you can lead the Luo clan with no problem. Zhuo Fan praised Luo Yunchang's eyes shone. Looking at the pieces on the ground, by the looks of it, has Steward Zhuo's machination come to fruition? Not quite. But now I can't take it anymore. Zhuo Fan's eyes burned with rage. Since the Mountain Lord came for us, we have no choice but to fight. Li Jingtian, Qiu Yanhai. Sir, rush to the Dragonlands and confirm the situation. No matter the preparations, they are to march to the sacred mountains. The 8 Emperors' lands are now safe, leaving only flanking the sacred mountains. Isn't this what they've always been waiting for? Any longer, and the sacred mountains will take the 8 Emperors' lands and will make things worse for the Dragonlands. Make them come to a quick decision, even if it means only a couple hundred experts of assistance. Understood. The two flew away, Xue Qingjian, heaven and earth sages. Sir, send all the men of the Luo clan to announce that the Sacred Mountain's wretched act of stealing the 8 Emperors' lands resources and cutting the future of common cultivators. That they're sending people to mess with the 8 Emperors' lands and treat us all like slaves. They are practicing vile arts and raising us to become their materials. They're behind all the missing people from the start and the mad 8 Emperors recently. Pin everything on the Sacred Mountains. With those 3 pricks setting an example, the people have had enough of the sacred mountains. They'll believe anything at this point. Zhuo Fan gave an evil grin. I want the sacred mountain's name dragged through the mud, and then some. Understood. The 3 got to work. Luo Yunchang frowned. The sacred mountains are too strong. Even with the 8 emperors' lands believing us, the people would never voice their anger. I know, but I don't need them in the war. Just to side with us ideologically. They also need a leader. Joie Fan smirked. Young miss, declare that the mountain lord he abducted Yunhai and say that we'll have justice. Declare war. War. Luo Yunchang was worried. Then we'll soon be fighting for real. Isn't it too early to start when the dragons have yet to send word? Don't worry, declaring war won't mean an immediate war. Joie Fan smirked, clenching his fists. I'll have all of the sacred domain and the sacred mountains regard us with caution at the declaration of war. Chapter 1276. Interrogation. Chapter 1276. Interrogation. Proofreader, Papatonks. Everything bad that happened over the past 3 months in the sacred domain had all been blamed on the 7 sacred mountains by the Luo clan. The news was explosive. With the people hardly believing their ears, they were skeptical at first, or rather not wanting to believe it out of fear. For these events meant that they were mortal enemies with the sacred mountains. The 8 emperors had killed countless people for their own selfish need to cultivate, while the pricks backed by the sacred mountains declared deadly laws that killed even more. And these too were in fact related. The people wanted revenge for all those tragic deaths. But the enemy was too strong. What was a mantis to do when facing a chariot? As such, the people labeled it as a misunderstanding that the sacred mountains weren't evil. Now, though, the Luo clan ripped the facade wide open. Declaring war on the sacred mountains, it was like saying, since none of you gave the guts to fight, we are willing to become their lambs instead. The people were conflicted. The sacred mountains were too strong. They didn't have the strength to fight them. It was suicide. Then a righteous leader came. Just in time to guide the lost flock and bring them justice, the bright announcement was pasted in every corner of the 8 emperors' lands, alarming the folks once more by the authority vested in us, in a world where the heavens and the earth show no mercy, treating all living beings as mere livestock, and where saints act unrighteously, extracting the blood and flesh of the common people. We, the united forces of the House of Luo, now decree to carry out the will of heaven. We shall unite with heroes from all corners of the world, together, to confront the sacred mountains, to punish its wrongdoing, to quell the grievances of the common people and enact heaven's will. All the people read the red words with shock. The Luo clan wants to punish the sacred mountains. Cries sprouted all around. How can this be? Who in the sacred domain can ever contest with the sacred mountains? The Luo clan is honorable, but would they defy the true powers that be? What a pity! With the 8 emperors finally gone and the Luo clan ruling the lands, we could finally live in peace. Now they're going to their deaths. But to what end? The Luo clan is suicidal and the lands will be in conflict again. All the people talked about the recent announcements, all shaking their heads and lamenting about the Luo clan's short-sightedness, as well as the harsh times awaiting them, who will unite the lands with the Luo clan gone. Only a few got fired up, deciding to go to the Luo clan and join them in the war. Even if death was a certainty, they would go down swinging, while some hid and grinned in the shadows. They waited for the Luo clan to die so they could take over the lands. All the opinions were either of support, of denial, or lamentation, but none around truly believed in it. The situation was clear. Even the evil sacred mountains were still almighty. The Luo clan was still just a bug. The outcome was obvious then. A shocking event had taken the world by storm, changing their opinions on the spot. On the 6th sacred mountain, in a dark chamber, Luo Yunhai was tied to a cross and bleeding, forming a large bloodstain at his feet. The flickering torches shone on his pale face now and then, revealing his weak state. The mountain lord stood before him. Glaring and unfeeling, he reached out to wipe some blood on the swollen face, mocking, "Still won't talk? I'm giving you one more chance to tell me the truth. How did my son die? Who did it?" "I don't know." "Pa." Luo Yunhai's voice was rough and quiet, followed by a sudden strike that flung his head to the side. He chose to bear through the pain rather than cry out. His chest had a metal rod through it. It was now being yanked around and made blood Gush out, still won't talk? You won't die, but sometimes life can be worse than death. He Haodong gnashed his teeth and roared. Tell me who killed my son? I don't know. Luo Yinhai closed his eyes and howled. He Haodong was outraged. Humph, have it your way. If you don't know, then what's Chu Qingqing doing in your clan? I told you. She came here by herself. That's all I know. Bullshit. She doesn't have the strength to get out of the Ruby Cloud sect. There were emperors watching her every movement as well. The enchanting empress had told me already, so don't try to lie to me. He Haodong's tone went higher as he finished with blood dripping constantly. Luo Yinhai still stuck to his same words. I don't know. She just came to the Luo clan and said she left the Ruby Cloud sect, that she could only rely on us. How should I know how she escaped? Go ask her instead. You think I don't want that instead of wasting time on you? He Haodong grew mad. Are you oblivious or just faking not knowing how important she is to me? Using force on her will ruin everything I worked for over the past century. Huff! Luo Yinhai panted, his eyes mocking. So this is the sacred mountain lord, nothing but a common street thug. Since you can't deal with her, you're taking out on me. Humph! Well, I know nothing. Bam! Luo Yinhai's head flung to the side from the punch, coughing blood and teeth. Ignorant fool! Stop being pretentious! He Haodong left with a flick of his sleeves. The fools of 8 emperors' lands are getting outrageous to look down on the divine, sacred mountains. It's time we teach them what real terror is. He Haodong closed the iron gate behind him. Luo Yinhai smiled as he sighed. It's like Big Brothers was said. He won't touch Sister Qingqing. I'm relieved. Luo Yinhai closed his eyes, slipping into unconsciousness. He Haodong walked out of the room, and 2 people appeared in a bow. He Haodong glared. How's the girl? Is she making trouble? Mountain Lord, all she's done is insist on wanting to see that kid. Good. Just remember to treat her well if we want to get anything. Yes, Mountain Lord, just like the ancient texts say. She can only give what she holds of her own will, never forced. We won't let the young miss feel any regret. Good. He Haodong nodded and held a bloody piece of clothing with a warm smile. He then went with the 2 towards a refined room. He knocked. Qingqing, may I come in? Enter. He Haodong smiled at her cold tone and regarded the charming Chu Qingqing inside. As he entered, Chu Qingqing was urgent in her demands. Where's Yinhai? Where are you holding him? Don't worry, Qingqing. Young Master Luo is my friend that I treat with respect and care. He's my guest, ha. I want to see him. Chu Qingqing said. He Haodong shook his head, looking kind, way different from the vicious side he showed moments before. It's not possible. Men and women need to keep their distance. You and Fenger haven't married, but I see you as my daughter-in-law. I could never let some random boy get close to you. It'll be a scandal throughout the sacred mountains. Don't call me that. Your son is dead, and I have nothing to do with the sacred mountains. Chu Qingqing snapped. He Haodong sighed. My son had to have been fated with you. He was so excited when he came back from outside. You were all he talked about. I could tell that he was in love. Just keep acting. You think I haven't heard your sons talk with my master? That's not love, but selfishness over something I have. Chu Qingqing rolled her eyes, though she didn't reveal it, for if He Haodong knew his deceit was out, he wouldn't be as accommodating to save Luo Yinhai. To keep the Luo clan safe, she had to play along. Chapter 1277. Foul Wretched Bugs. Chapter 1277. Foul Wretched Bugs. Proofreader, Papatonks. Having been around the Luo clan and Zhuofan for so long, I've become shifty myself. Clever, yes, clever. Chu Qingqing showed a bright smile and bowed. Mountain Lord, I'm gratified, but I don't feel the same way for young master. I ask that you let us go. A girl's heart can't be forced. This means Fenger isn't the lucky one. It's not your fault, Miss Chu. He Haodong looked out the window, looking pained. At the devastating news of my son's demise, I could only shed tears and nothing else. Miss Chu, I ask that you please tell me anything you might know about his death. He Haodong gave Chu Qingqing a deep bow. Chu Qingqing, help him up. Senior, you're being too courteous to someone like me. It's only proper. If I can clear my son's injustice, then I will even kowtow. He put on a sincere expression. With tears brimming in his eyes, Chu Qingqing realized she'd have fallen for his trick if not for knowing the truth. Even so, her young heart was still moved. He must love his son. Regardless of sympathy, she would still not rat Chua Fan out. Ugh. He Haodong held his chest and fell to the ground, looking pale. Chu Qingqing panicked and rushed to help. Senior, what's wrong? And Miss Chu, I can't bear it. Could you promise me something? He Haodong had a ragged breathing. Chu Qingqing was quick to agree. Tell me. This is for you. He Haodong showed her a jade bracelet in 5 colors. It's made of ancient jade harvested from the sea abyss forest. It only forms once a million years. It helps clear the mind and strengthen the soul. Even those with poor talent can become saints. Chu Qingqing was shocked. Sea abyss forest has sea beasts and flying spiritual beasts around at the 12th and 11th level. Even saints don't go there. This must be invaluable. Yes, it is. He strained to explain. Those spiritual beasts always watch over it with scrutiny, since it can open their minds. Then they would never let anyone take it. The 7 sacred mountains had suffered great losses to take just this piece, and now it's yours. No, I can't accept something so rare. It's because it's valuable that I'm giving you in Fenger's stead. Cough. He Haodong coughed, blood looking weaker. I planned on gifting it to Fenger's future wife, but with him gone, and as he loved you, I'll give it to you in his stead. He Haodong forced it in Chu Qingqing's hand, but she still shook her head. I can't accept. Qingqing, did you forget your promise to me? If you refuse, I'll just destroy the Luo clan. Chu Qingqing shuddered and was silent. He Haodong smiled and coughed a few more times. Chu Qingqing didn't know what to do. 2 people rushed in just then and cried out at He Haodong's state. Mountain Lord, are you all right? I'm fine. I can't bear it. He Haodong smiled at Chu Qingqing. Qingqing, you can go now. Go. Yes, I got my wish, so you can go. He Haodong smiled through his tears. Ever since Fenger passed, I had 2 wishes. To find the cause of his death, for revenge, and give this bracelet to you for my son. The second is the most important, for this fulfills Fenger's longing. Now I am at peace. He Haodong sighed with a smile. Closing his eyes like he was no longer for this world, the 2 people cried out in panic. Mountain Lord, you can't go. Senior, wake up. Chu Qingqing shook all over. Isn't Senior a peak saint? How did he become so weak? The 2 attendants sighed. Miss, ever since young Lord passed, Mountain Lord has been sick with worry and in despair. His cultivation went wrong and his heart was plagued by demons. He took medicine, but it didn't help. He had no reason to live, even if he is a peak saint. Chu Qingqing was filled with worry. He was ruthless, but he loved his son dearly. What will become of the 6th sacred mountain with the Mountain Lord's passing? Civil war, chaos, murder? We'd take Mountain Lord's place if we could. The 2 teared up and said, Miss, the Mountain Lord said you can go. I will take care of everything, so that you and young Master Luo can leave. We will handle the funeral and won't be seeing any more guests. Chu Qingqing hesitated. Let's not get too hasty. I'll stay to send Senior off. Doesn't Miss hate the Mountain Lord for taking you? Why would I hate him? He has always been kind to me, and I'd feel pain to see him go like this. You don't want the Mountain Lord to die. Of course not. Chu Qingqing sighed. He is so kind, hurting so much for his son, so pitiful. I really wish I could save him. The 2 nodded and said, Miss, why not try it? Maybe your kindness and thoughts could help him? The Mountain Lord has always seen you as a daughter-in-law. Without his son, you're the only one he cares about in the world. That's why he would give you the most precious item on the 6th sacred mountains. Looking at the bracelet, Chu Qingqing nodded and held He Haodong's hand. using her Yuan Qi. Senior, hold on, don't die. He Haodong was still unconscious. The attendants were panicking. Miss Chu, you can do it. Heal his heart, and the Mountain Lord will surely wake up. Chu Qingqing nodded and used her Yuan Qi until she was almost spent, even sweating from exertion. Miss Chu, forgive us for not being of any help. The Mountain Lord cared so much about you. Only your Yuan Qi can wake him. We fear our Yuan Qi will only make it worse. The Mountain Lord's heart is broken and not his body. I know. Chu Qingqing gnashed her teeth and worked harder. With no results, the two urged her harder. Miss Chu, you have to save him with all your heart. Your sincerity is sure to save the Mountain Lord. Chu Qingqing closed her eyes and gave all she had. Chu Qingqing slumped from tiredness, leaving the attendants sighing. Mountain Lord, she did her best, but nothing came out. This means she must be committed with all her being for it to work. He Haodong's pale face returned to normal and looked at Chu Qingqing with gnashed teeth. I had Fenger get her to be smitten with him so that his death would be the best case to make this work. Now even if this chick wants to save me, it's not at her own sacrifice, so it is of no use. The two were silent. He Haodong stood. Let her rest. We'll think of something. Also, go to the Luo clan and see if Zhuo Fan is back. I heard the two are in love, and maybe we can use that prick to get the thing out of her. Mountain Lord, won't we fail letting him get it out of Miss Chu? Fool, ever heard of sleight of hand? I'll just grab it before it goes to him. He Haodong glared. A mocking laughter reached their ears just then. Ha ha ha, you want sovereignty? Foul, wretched bugs like you aren't worth it. Chapter 1278, Mystery Expert. Chapter 1278, Mystery Expert. Proofreader, Papatonks. Who said that? He Haodong barked. Boom. A violent sword wave came crashing down from the heavens above, laying the fine room to ruins and disintegrating everything in its path. The mighty sword energy surged, and He Haodong with his attendants were sent flying in the explosion once the dust settled. Everything was leveled. With no one in sight, He Haodong shuddered, looking stiffly at the sky. A true expert has come. Whoosh! The sacred mountain's experts rushed at the commotion, only to see He Haodong. Mountain Lord, what happened? Are you all right? I am fine. He Haodong found it hard to speak, still out of it. Then he panicked and rummaged through the rubble. Where's Chu Qingqing? The two attendants bowed. Mountain Lord, wasn't she killed? No, the attack was to blind us and not to kill us. We wouldn't have survived otherwise. He Haodong was solemn. The others bowed. Mountain Lord, what happened? Someone came to save Chu Qingqing. He Haodong gnashed his teeth, his voice shaking from rage and fear. The others gasped, roaring, No way! We've guarded the 6th sacred mountain all these years. Not even other mountains saints can slip in. How could he just come in and slip out unnoticed after attacking the Mountain Lord? He must be terrifying. He Haodong wiped his brow. He can come and go as he pleases and toyed with our lives. His strength must be monstrous. Did he kill my son? Was he after the thing in the girl? The others were stunned. Mountain Lord, does that mean getting revenge for young Lord? What revenge? He Haodong shook his head. The problem is, can we take the thing back when such a mystery expert holds it? When did the sacred domain have such a monstrous figure? It's horrible. He Haodong sighed. While the others were deep in thought about their future, they had been after Chu Qingqing for 100 years now, only for another to take her from them. All their effort was in vain. In the secret room, Luo Yinhai was hanging by a thread on the cross-bam. The thick steel door was kicked open. Luo Yinhai cheered. Big brother Zhuo, you came. Hush, we came to save you. Zhuo Fan and Sword Child got close and took out the rods before giving him a healing ill. Where's Qingqing? Luo Yinhai shook his head. I don't know. I've been locked up since we arrived, but I don't think they'll try anything with her. I know they have plans for Qingqing and won't touch her. Zhuo Fan patted his shoulder, his eyes fierce. You've been through a lot, brother, but now I'm taking revenge. 10 times over. Luo Yinhai nodded. Zhuo Fan was talking big. This was the sacred mountains, filled with experts, and he wanted to run amok? What about finding you out and making it worse? Luo Yinhai had unflinching belief in his big brother. When he said something, he'd do it putting the wounded Luo Yinhai on his back. Zhuo Fan had Sword Child scout ahead. Be quiet and don't alert them. We'll get at these fools after we find Qing Qing, and she's safe. I know, Dad. I know your style. I won't let them get any upper hands on us. Sword Child nodded. Luo Yinhai was curious. Big brother Zhuo, didn't you make a scene 2 hours ago? Aren't they alerted already? I think they are. 2 hours ago. Zhuo Fan raised an eyebrow. We only just arrived. We were still far away 2 hours ago to have done anything. It wasn't you who made such a loud noise. Of course not. I'm not that reckless. Going ahead, first we'll get them to hang you 2 over my head. Zhuo Fan gasped. Oh, right. Who else made a scene on the sacred mountains besides us? Is it inner conflict? Zhuo Fan turned to Sword Child. He shook his head. Inner conflict with no guards around? Expecting no defensive array from the great sacred mountains is far-fetched. They think no one would attack this place. So it was because someone struck already. Dad, our luck is great. Someone took the brunt while we saw no patrols. But who did it? Zhuo Fan was doubtful. There are hardly any with the strength and nerve to strike at the sacred mountains. Who the hell cares? With the sacred mountains in panic, we have an easy time moving. Zhuo Fan nodded. Right. Let's get Qing Qing and then we'll be free to act. The 6th sacred mountain is going to disappear from the sacred domain. Zhuo Fan smirked and left with Luo Yinhai on his back and Sword Child guarding them 2 steps out the door, and someone shouted, Who are you? Where are you taking the prisoner? It's an emperor. And a peek. Zhuo Fan and Sword Child shared a look and a devious grin. Sword Child flashed and ran through the man. Exploding him to pieces, Sword Child dusted his hands in disdain. Emperors are now beneath me, and he dared block us? Idiot. How dare you? Another shout came, and hundreds of auras appeared in front. Zhuo Fan was grave. Curses, they're all saints. The sacred mountains are filled with experts. What now, Dad? Get past them or kill them? Sword Child whispered. Zhuo Fan paused. I came here to kill them and earn a name, but they have Qing Qing and we can't attack. Should we just get through first? Then use your sacred body and my strength. They can't stop you. Zhuo Fan nodded and black energy spilled out of him. Forming his sacred body fighting saints would be taxing, especially if you were killing every one of them. But carving a bloody path wasn't hard. One man stood out shouting, sealing the fate of the 6th sacred mountain. Who are you? Were you the ones who took Qing Qing? Talk. Qing Qing isn't here. Zhuo Fan caught his meaning. Someone has come ahead and rescued her. I don't know who or why, but one thing is certain. Qing Qing isn't here. He could let loose. Zhuo Fan snickered. Hey you, was that the truth? I am the 6th mountain lord. He Haodong barked. A sword wave fell on Qing Qing's room and leveled it. Since then, she's been missing. Did you take her? Do you know what that was? Speak. Zhuo Fan smiled in realization. Sorry, but we don't know who that was. We only came for our clan head. Clan head? Haodong then noticed Luo Yinhai on his back. I see now. You're from the Luo clan. Humph. You have some nerve. 8 emperors lands bugs, showing up here on the sacred mountains trying to take someone. Your entire clan is dead? Dead? Humph. Zhuo Fan laughed. You should worry about your 6th sacred mountain first. Chapter 1279, Saint Battle. Chapter 1279, Saint Battle. Proofreader, Papatonks. Everyone looked at Zhuo Fan's grin with gaping mouths. Many of them started laughing and mocking his outrageous claim. Zhuo Fan was the first in ages to challenge the sacred mountains. Haodong enjoyed deriding him. Whose fool are you? Are you so slow in the head to spout such nonsense? I am the Luo clan's steward, Zhuo Fan. You're that Zhuo Fan? He Haodong was silent, then shouted. You're the guy close to Qing Qing? Did you have something to do with her rescue? Humph, it doesn't matter, since it has nothing to do with you. Zhuo Fan smirked, flying with Luo Yunhai on his back. You don't need to know where you're going. They turned to Zhuo Fan with lost gazes. He's not even in the profound heaven stage, yet he can fly. He's full of tricks. One elder roared and flew after him. He shone golden, and a giant with 12 shields appeared around him. He was a mid-saint. You're boasting and looking for trouble on the 6th sacred mountain. For that you will die here. You won't escape. We'll see soon enough who among us will die. Humph, as you wish. Zhuo Fan quipped, letting black energy flood the heavens and taking the form of a black giant. Violent and powerful, they all gasped, he's a saint? How? How could anyone from the 8 emperors' lands have the arts to reach the saint stage? Reaching a higher stage needed more than just talent and perception. A cultivation method was paramount, needing a heaven-ranked method to become a saint, but all such cultivation methods were long since monopolized by the sacred mountains. For a saint to appear outside of the sacred mountains was a slim chance. Only through incredible talent or perception in creating their own heaven-ranked cultivation method the 7 sacred mountains would pursue anyone that was such a man to join them, while the ones that refused just wandered about with few rogue saints about. They were no threat, and they weren't stupid enough to attack the 7 sacred mountains, maintaining balance of the sacred domain. It was unthinkable how someone had the nerve to use 3 of the sacred mountains, disciples for pawns, and then come take someone from their mountain. What was more, it was done by Zhuo Fan, whom they all knew to be weak. Everyone was filled with bloodlust. Instead of just minding his own business, he kept thwarting the sacred mountain's plans. He had to die, he Haodong roared. Elder Lu, kill him. Yes, Mountain Lord. Elder Lu grinned in confidence. It was obvious to anyone that one was mid and the other was an early saint. He would win for sure. Soaring demonic dragon. Zhuo Fan sneered, and the huge dragon on the giant's chest shot out of it. Boom! A dreadful explosion echoed that shook the skies. Elder Lu had his guard down, taking Zhuo Fan for easy pickings, and the black dragon made a half-a-mile large hole in the elder's giant. The 12 shields crumbled to dust. Elder Lu coughed blood as his sacred body collapsed. Falling to the ground, Elder Lu! The others cried out, while their minds abuzz from what they saw. Elder Lu is stronger and trained in a high cultivation method on the sacred mountains. How did he lose so fast? Even if the punk has the aptitude to make a cultivation method to reach the saint stage, it can't match with ours, polished over millions of years. A draconic roar echoed, and the black dragon turned on Elder Lu. Swallowing him whole, the dragon returned to Zhuo Fan's sacred body's chest. The head looked violent as its maw spilled black energy. The others felt a chill down their spines. What a savage, sacred body! He Haodong frowned and flew up. Lightning crackled, and a Vajra body with 12 great swords on its back appeared around him. Whoosh! He Haodong took 2 of the thunderblades and hacked at Zhuo Fan. Oh, Mountain Lord is going ahead. Is it to save face? Zhuo Fan raised an eyebrow. Well, sorry to disappoint. Soaring demonic dragon. The dragon roared once more and came out of the giant's chest, going for He Haodong. Bam! He Haodong was ready, blocking with a thunderblade and using the other to strike. The black dragon got split in 2, vanishing like black mist. Zhuo Fan shook and staggered back at the backlash, but then his giant sported another black dragon head. While Zhuo Fan turned serious for once. Humph! You're peak saint after all, and have some skill. Cut the crap and die. He Haodong went on the offensive, his 2 thunderblades sending thousands of sword waves at Zhuo Fan. Zhuo Fan had his sacred body dance through the strikes, suddenly pausing when the attack stopped. Dozens of lashes appeared on his sacred body. His scales broke. Turning to dust, Zhuo Fan shook and blood leaked from his mouth. Luo Yunhai cried, Big Brother Zhuo, are you all right? Mountain Lord is formidable. The crowd cheered, seeing Zhuo Fan being pushed back. There's nothing amazing about getting a couple dozen hits in from thousands. This guy is good. He Haodong saw the truth, and his expression grew grave. He was a peak saint while the other was a fresh one. It should be an easy job killing him. But the way he avoided most of his attacks showed he lost in that exchange if they were of equal cultivation. Then he himself would die in one hit. This kid isn't normal. That's why Elder Lu suffered. He Haodong's thunderblades flashed through the air as he went for Zhuo Fan. Blocking any chance at dodging, Luo Yunhai cried, "Big brother Zhuo! Mountain Lord, kill him!" Those below cheered. Zhuo Fan squinted and shouted, "Come, my sword!" "Yes, father." Whoosh! The ignored sword child flew in the sky, turning into a black blade and entering Zhuo Fan's hand. He Haodong's violent sword hacked at Zhuo Fan. Boom! With a sudden thunderclap, a black glow shone, and the sword vanished. Everyone looked agape, with He Haodong staggering back 2 steps as the 2 thunderblades in his hands crumbled. He Haodong coughed blood and shuddered. He watched as Zhuo Fan's giant held a black long sword. The same one his real body was holding. Both of them had black flames licking its blade, eerie and sinister. Chapter 1280. Crushing a Sacred Mountain. Chapter 1280. Crushing a Sacred Mountain. Proofreader, Papatonks. He Haodong's face shook, his eyes grew wide. He then turned grave as he got his arm behind him. All that mattered now was winning. Regardless of what the enemy came up with, He Haodong charged again, unleashing another sword image, to which Zhuo Fan merely waved his black sword crack. The 2 new thunderblades crumbled to nothing. Everyone gasped, gawking at Zhuo Fan in disbelief. What sword is that to be so deadly? The 12 thunderblades on Mountain Lord his back were a part of his sacred body, made of lightning, like the 12th heaven purple lightning, tough beyond belief and at the 6th grade sacred weapon level. How could they just break? He Haodong was just as baffled regardless of these issues. He chose to still go through with it. He had come out alone, and now he had to finish off Zhuo Fan to preserve his dignity. As the big boss on the mountain, Zhuo Fan killed Elder Lu, and he came out to win back the loss and get revenge. Falling back now would only bring him shame. He Haodong took a deep breath and roared, "Heaven-breaking swords!" Ding! The remaining 8 thunderblades flew from his back and soared into the sky, appearing like flashes of lightning. Black holes cracked in the sky from their incredible power, forming a net and threatening to break the fabric of space. The 8 thunderblades multiplied into a thunderstorm, ready to rain havoc on the world below. The sheer amount struck fear in all beings. The audience cheered. Mountain Lord, his supreme martial art is out. It drove terror into the hearts of many 11th level dragon saints in the past Great War. Now it was used on some poor, lonely bastard who would ever have the same honor of facing Mountain Lord, his ultimate skill alone. Mountain Lord, he hasn't used it in ages, and now the crowd was excited to see it again. All smirked at Zhuo Fan's plight. Writing him off, "Humph, it's all over for you. Even with your hard blade, there's nothing you can do against a flood of sword waves. Your sacred body will be crushed and death will surely follow. Ha ha ha, there will be nothing left of you to bury. You should be honored to die at the same move that defeated many dragons, Humph." All the saints took it as Zhuo Fan's doom, while Luo Yunhai looked on with worry. Zhuo Fan just smiled and grinned. "Sword child, want to give it a try?" "Dad, it's merely a concept and I haven't understood it. It's too risky against so many enemies." Sword child sighed. Zhuo Fan didn't care. "It's because there's so many that makes it a good practice run. Where else am I supposed to test it? I let the fight drag out just so I could train." "All right, try it then." Divine Eye of the Void and the Apocalyptic soared together. The sword shook and black energy seeped out. "Kill!" He Haodong signaled, and the thunderblades fell like a torrent of heavy rain, right on Zhuo Fan's head. The immense pressure had the black energy on Zhuo Fan's giant tremble. All looked on with sneers. Zhuo Fan was confident as he raised the demonic sword hum. Zhuo Fan and the giant's right eye shone in 9 golden halos. Divine Eye of the Void, 9th stage, Void Eater. Apocalyptic sword art, obliterate! Zhua Fan and Sword Child shouted at the same time, and the giant spun, cutting with the great sword all around the space, warped around it under the eerie power. Spreading out farther and farther away, the incoming deadly thunderblades warped as well, with the space around them vanishing into nothing. Not a single thunderblade could ever get within 10 meters of Zhua Fan. Vanishing into thin air, he Haodong guffawed. What the hell? The others were stumped as well. Where are the lightning swords? Where did they go? Ah! A sudden cry broke the stifling silence. They looked up to see He Haodong's Vajra, sacred body, twisting like the thunderblades. He couldn't even get away. The sacred body twisted beyond recognition before vanishing under the eyes of all the saints. He Haodong gasped and shouted, "What kind of martial art is this?" "Mountain Lord He, shouldn't you be asking about your son's death instead?" "What?" He Haodong shuddered. Zhua Fan nodded. "Yes, I killed him." "You?" He Haodong raged, clenching his fists and then popping out of existence just like that. The others were overwhelmed with shock. Where's Mountain Lord He? Did he die? The guy used one creepy art. What on earth did it do? Even Luo Yinhai on Zhua Fan's back was baffled. Big brother Zhua. Ha ha ha, it's the first trial run. So of course you don't know. Zhua Fan explained. After becoming a saint, my divine eye of the void reached the 9th stage, Void Eater, allowing it to devour all space in my domain. Sword Child used his strongest apocalyptic sword art in correlation with my attack to form an apocalyptic void and annihilate all in my domain before they even notice. As the devouring spreads out, any caught within it will vanish before they know it. Luo Yinhai gasped. Then you can kill anyone, even those caught off guard, before they even know it. Not quite. This skill uses apocalyptic sword art, and if the other has higher swordsmanship, then I can't touch him. There's someone who can block your sword when a peak saint couldn't. Luo Yinhai started. Zhua Fan was grave. Of course, since S peak saint is nothing. I've always been afraid of the one equal to me. No, the one above me. Zhua Fan felt a heavy weight on his shoulder, thinking how the enemy was 3 stages above in the divine eye of the void whoosh. Zhua Fan shuddered, and the black giant vanished. Luo Yinhai asked, "Big brother Zhua, he's spent. Let's get him and force him to give Mountain Lord He back. He must have used some trick to grab Mountain Lord He." The saints roared, and hundreds charged with their power on display. Zhua Fan wiped his brow and said to Luo Yinhai, "I'm not used to the 9th stage, and it takes a lot out of me. Killing a peak saint and working in combination with Sword Child to unleash that attack left me empty. What do we do?" Luo Yinhai glanced at the savage saints coming to kill them. Zhua Fan smirked. "Like I said, crush them." Chapter 1281. Overwhelming Shock. Chapter 1281. Overwhelming Shock. Proofreader, Papatonks. Crush them? How when there's so many? Luo Yinhai didn't understand. Zhua Fan smirked. With this. Zhua Fan took out a huge golden fireball. Its dreaded power surged around, forcing the many sacred bodies to halt in fear. What is that? Why does it feel so scary? A dragon breath pill. Zhua Fan smiled at the familiar ball. Decimating dragon ancestor gave me 3 of these in mortal domain, each unleashing his full power. I wasted one for revenge, another against heaven sealing CAO, and this is the last. I planned to save it when things got dire, especially against him, but I have no choice. Since these guys want to die so much, I'll oblige them, ha ha ha. Zhua Fan flicked the huge fireball on top of their heads, laughing. Here's a present for you. I, Zhua Fan, am a man of my word. I said I'll crush you, and that's what I'll do, ha ha ha. We have to block it. The others felt the tremendous power of the dragon breath pill and shouted. Everyone used their best skills against it along with their sacred bodies, despite the hundreds of saints using enough power to destroy the world. It was still not enough to even shake the fireball. It hardly even shrank under the fearful eyes of all. The golden fireball struck them. Boom! A huge explosion was unleashed. followed by a sudden heat wave. The decimating golden flames swallowed the sixth sacred mountain, while the mighty Saint army had no time to scream their last before they burned to ashes. Their tough bodies were eroded and vanished. Even faster than when Zhuo Fan handled Hihaodong in seconds. The sixth sacred mountain was a raging sea of golden flames. The beautiful sceneries, the fancy pavilions, all were reduced to dust in just one strike. A great sacred mountain now disappeared from reality. Only the golden sea of flames was the sole proof of it ever existing, and of the horror that was unleashed to erase it. Luo Yunhai's face twitched as he gasped. He never got to see such an astonishing spectacle in his life. Big brother Zhuo, that's why you weren't scared. You had such a trick up your sleeve. A shame it was the last one. Zhuo Fan clicked his tongue. Next time I meet tough opposition, better keep my nose down. Then, again, there probably aren't that many out there at my level, ha ha ha. Luo Yunhai nodded. You killed the sixth sacred mountain lord. That means you can dominate anyone in the sacred domain in a duel. You're also the only one in the clan capable of fighting the sacred mountains. What do we do when the other mountains come knocking? It's for that reason that I used the precious dragon breath pill to crush the sixth sacred mountain. Zhuo Fan eased a breath. The worst thing about humans is their cowardly natures, the sacred mountains included. The stronger you are, the more afraid they'll be. If I had left it after saving you and Qingcheng, then all of the sacred mountains would have come for revenge. Since I killed those entitled pricks, the sacred mountains, who value reputation and dignity above all else, will definitely have come in force. Luo Yunhai was grave. Yes, the sacred domain is just like the mortal domain. The higher-ups or emperors are nothing but hypocrites. For their name, they'll never see reason nor honor. That's why I crushed the sixth sacred mountain, to give them a fright. They don't know my limit and won't rush to get me out of fear of suffering the same fate. We can drag it out for a year and a bit, wait on the dragon's report, so that we may really have a fighting chance against the sacred mountains. Before that, bluffing is the way to go. Luo Yunhai smiled, just like when the Luo clan got set up and veiled Dragon Pavilion, thought we were something big when we had nothing. Yeah, the sacred mountains may believe that we still have dragon breath pills, when in reality we've already run out. Zhuo Fan smirked, and the two laughed. Luo Yunhai frowned. Mountain Lord, he said someone took Qingcheng, but who and to where? Zhuo Fan's eyes shone. If he came to the sacred mountains, he could have easily killed some girl. But now I don't know where to look for her. The expert had to be a top power in the sacred domain, out of the 7 sacred mountains that leaves Dragonlands. But it doesn't look like they would move. Maybe there's some hidden power like us. Could be, but that would be even worse. Zhuo Fan sighed, leaving after giving the flames one last look. Let's go, I'll think about Qingcheng later. We now need to spread this news throughout the 8 emperors' lands. We'll grasp the people's support and become their leader. Once the dragons respond, we can crush the rest of the sacred mountains and usher in a brave new world. Zhuo Fan left the sea of flames. A shadow watched him go from a distance, decimating dragon ancestors' fire. He's with the sacred beasts. Ugh. The man shook and looked back to see Chu Qingcheng. Groaning, the man shook his head. The kid has different tastes now, giving a sovereign path to this girl, ha ha ha. The man left as well. A month later, news of the 6th sacred mountain's destruction rocked the sacred domain. The top power in the sacred domain for eons up and got crushed just 'cause you said so? Not even the dragons would do it if they could. They can crush a mountain as well, but they could never destroy all of them. For even dragons could be surrounded and defeated as more and more mountains joined the attack. That was why the dragons had no chance against the sacred mountains now, though the 6th sacred mountain was no more. It left people in disbelief, for this meant one thing, only that the other party was so strong it could finish a mountain like nothing, and that it was so large that it trumped the 6th sacred mountain's defenses, stopping them from even calling for help. When did the sacred domain have such a powerful group? People shook their heads. Damn blasted rumor. How come something like this happens? What fool would believe this crap? Ha ha ha, what morons. Then came the Luo clan's announcement, stirring the people once more. The rumor they wrote off as exaggeration ended up confirmed. That meant they could believe it, leaving the people in shock that a sacred mountain was no more. What was even more astonishing was that the new Luo clan from the 8 Emperors' lands was the one that did it. Is the Luo clan that strong? Can they go to war and crush the sacred mountains just 'cause they say it? That's the everlasting sacred mountains for eons and eons we're talking about here. Some upstart clan up and wasted the 6th mountain and its people? Everyone in the sacred domain felt numb, their world view crumbling. So sacred mountains aren't that tough like they claim. Their day has come and a new overlord will replace them. Chapter 1282, Mirror Moon Cottage. Chapter 1282, Mirror Moon Cottage. Proofreader, Papatonks. In the large hall on the 7th sacred mountain, 6 elders sat in their chairs. Overlooking the 3 youths below, the 3 youths kneeled in respect. The elder with a long beard nodded. You have been carefully selected among all the talents to go out and replace Su Tianchuan and the other 2 in taking over the 8 Emperors' lands. I hope you won't disappoint us like they did. Mountain Lord, we won't fail you. They cupped their hands and declared. The elders nodded with smiles. Su Tianchuan's group had been an utter disappointment. But if there was one thing the sacred mountains had, it was disciples. They had done a harsher selection this time around and chosen the best of the best to replace those fools. This should settle it. Ha ha ha. The elder with the long beard waved them away. You're to leave in 3 days. Yes, Mountain Lord. They bowed again as they withdrew. The elder with the long beard turned to the others. I have high hopes for these 3. They aren't arrogant and reckless. They are more than enough to take over the 8 Emperors' lands. Yeah. The others nodded, and an elder with white brows added, Old he has been gone for a long time to just be setting those 3 brats straight. What's taking him so long? We haven't heard from the brats either. Strange. The others squinted. The elder with the long beard waved it off. Ha ha ha. Those brats must have been so berated by old he that they feel too ashamed to come back. They must be working hard to make up for their mistakes in the 8 Emperors' lands. It may take time to uproot the devious and heinous Luo clan from this world and restore the sacred mountain's dignity. Old he must be keeping watch. Everything should be fine, ha ha ha. Everyone nodded and smiled. Mountain Lord, this is bad. A shocked voice came from outside. The elder with the long beard frowned and shouted back. What happened that has you so panicked? Report. Mountain Lord, this is really bad. A young man entered the hall, incoherent and distraught. He fell to his knees and stammered. It's crazy, utter madness. What is? Speak clearly. The 8 Emperors' lands have risen up. The youth yelled. Su Tianchuan and the 2 senior brothers were killed by the Luo clan, and their heads are hanging on the Luo clan's gate. They also declared to all the lands that they'll eliminate the 7 sacred mountains. What? The 6 elders were shocked, with the elder with the long beard slapping his armrest in rage. Outrageous! The Luo clan must have gone mad to kill someone from the sacred mountains. And they even dare say something like that? Humph! They should have been removed from the start. Tell some elders to annihilate the Luo clan. Let all of the 8 Emperors' lands know what braggarts get for running their mouth. The disciple cried there. Still not going out, the elder with the long beard roared. What are you standing there for? I gave you an order. Mountain Lord, I don't believe a few elders are enough. This involves the 6th sacred mountain. Allow me to finish. What? A few sacred mountains elders aren't enough for a nobody clan? I even thought it was too much. The elder with the long beard shook and glared. Who is your master? You dare question my orders? The disciple reported, Mountain Lord, I'd never. There's just another matter I need to report. Mountain Lord can decide after Sir hears it. Speak. The 6th sacred mountain is no more. Ugh. The 6 old men went wide-eyed from disbelief. The elder with the long beard blinked at a loss. See, come again. The youth repeated himself, and the head elder finally clutched his sparse hair in shock. This can't be. The elder with the long beard howled at last. Old He's Sixth Sacred Mountain has many experts, with hardly anyone daring to attack it, with no one capable of crushing it. Where did you get that information? Don't go spouting things. The youth's lips quivered. Mountain Lord, I'd wish for it to be fake, but I was sent to look into the Sixth Sacred Mountain and saw it destroyed. The entire mountain is gone, now replaced by a strange golden sea of flames. It burns for thousands upon thousands of miles. Mountain lords can go inspect it for themselves. Plop! The elder with the long beard slumped in his chair, lost. For the disciple to say that meant this was real. How could a mighty sacred mountain? The elders were dark, their hearts sinking in fear. If the Sixth Sacred Mountain was gone, then what about the rest? They all shuddered. The grand and godlike mountain, lords for thousands of years, might be gone overnight. Dread gripped their hearts. Who did it? Did you find out? As long as the culprit doesn't say it, it will be hard to find out. The elder with white brows spoke in shock. The others nodded. Their faced hard, the disciple bowed. Mountain lords, there's no need to investigate, for the culprit declared it himself. Who? They all shouted at the same time. The youth muttered. The Luo clan from the 8 Emperors' lands. What? Mountain lords, the information first came from the Luo clan's announcements. It declares that Mountain Lord he had gone to the Luo clan and took their clan head. So the head steward Juafan went to the Sixth Sacred Mountain in rage. He not only rescued his clan head, but also flattened the mountain. The youth retold the same words on the declaration. No one took it seriously when they declared war. But with the Sixth Sacred Mountain gone, the 8 Emperors' lands are boiling. The people go to the Luo clan and help them defeat us. All of Emperor lands see us with enmity. Mountain lords, this is why I did not convey your order. With the Emperor lands as our enemy, sending someone will have all eyes on them. But with the Luo clan having the power to destroy a mountain, there's even more reason to be prudent. Sending the elders will only get them killed. I ask Mountain Lord to reconsider. The elder with the long beard's face twitched and clenched his fists. A puny 8 Emperors' land clan dared to destroy a sacred mountain? Something just isn't right here. Yeah, this much power is a rarity. Unless... What? The head elder turned to the elder with white brows. The latter continued. Do you all remember the ancient legend? You mean? The 10 sovereigns fell, the 5 beasts vanquished. Shu Jing is gone, and the sacred mountains live on. The elder with white brows said, after the supreme experts vanished in ancient times, the sacred mountains took over the sacred domain. But there's one place that still strikes fear in us. Mirror Moon Cottage. They all shouted. The elder with white brows continued. Yes, the lord of Mirror Moon Cottage, Sir Shui Jing, is rumored to be exceptional. Some of our people offended him in ignorance and made thousands of saints on 7 sacred mountains die. No one knew what happened or who triggered it. Since then, the 7 sacred mountains made a rule to never mess with Sir Shui Jing and his people. After all these years, with the sacred mountains growing with every generation, Sir Shui Jing was never seen again and was forgotten. Now that the 6th sacred mountain is destroyed, it made me remember about an old senior's warning. Maybe the Luo clan is theirs. SSS. Everyone gasped, their hearts shuddering. If it were true, then they had brought doom to themselves.